Welcome to this getting started video from Metropolis. Thanks for joining us and thanks for taking an interest in the game. Now this is a new game I've just started and I'm going to take you through a few of the features just to get you going. Down here we have a panel. This is your mayor information. This is me, Mayor Peterson of Florida, and this tells you the political leaning. Economy at the moment is very poor, and I've got a mayor score here. That window can be turned on and off using this icon. Over here we have the city power department and the city water department. It tells us our water storage and power storage, how much we're producing and how much we're using, and each of those units has a price. We can buy and sell using these icons. We can turn those windows on and off with these buttons here. So for now I'm going to turn those two off. I'm going to turn that one off. Let's look over here at these two panels. Here we have the share market, a live share market, which will update the shares as they change. Down here we have a panel that's got latest news, game tips and city information. Here we have a online manual. This is the global leaderboard, and here we've just got some information about the game. Let's turn that off, and let's turn that off. Oh no, that one. That one. Now you can see we've just had an offer come up. This is from construction company City Build, and they're looking for incentives to build a housing project. This would provide us with 3,000 places and would cost us $1,300,000. That's a really good offer, because if you build housing yourself you'll know that it's really expensive. So when a company comes in offering to build a project like this, all they're asking for is a little bit of support. $1,300,000 for 3,000 housing places is very good, so we're going to take that deal. Now many new players want to get started with construction, and what they'll do is they'll construct a building and then they'll probably sell it straight away and then use the money to construct another building and sell that one. It's a really good way of running out of money early in the game. So I wouldn't advise you doing that. You can actually spend a couple of game days just looking around the map, checking on the economy, share prices, see what the share prices are doing, looking at the latest news, just getting to know the city a little bit before you start building. That was a good example because I might decided I wanted to build a residential unit, but that offer came in, and it means that if I look at my housing places, I've got 14,136 available places, which is quite good. Now let's just take you through some of the information on the main screen. Here we have the time, the current time. Here we have the date. This is the treasury balance. Here we have the population. In brackets is the number of people who have come into the city today. So keep an eye on that. It changes every day. This is the weather. This is your current popularity, 39%. And this is your city ranking. At the moment we're at bottom of the ranking list, 20 out of 20. Here we have a news bar. Down here we have a few icons, as I said earlier. This turns the water on and off. This turns the power on and off. This toggles the music. That toggles the information panel. That will save a game, and this will exit the game. Over here we have the Treasury Department, the Welfare Department, Transport Department, Police Department, Policy Department, Statistics Department. This icon, as I said earlier, will toggle on and off your mayor panel, mayor information panel. This icon here turns on the suburb labels. This turns on and off your stock panel. This one here is the police panel. So when the crime's been committed, you'll get a notice coming up, an indicator coming up here, and that will turn it off. Here we've got drone mode. If you click on that, it'll take you on a tour of the city centre. It's quite nice at night. I'll show you this later, to put on the music and then take a drone ride around the city. This, as I said, turns off the news panel, and this will turn on and off these little building icons. And once we've had a building and a cash icon comes up, that will also turn that off. Right, let's quickly look at the departments. Let's look at the Treasury Department. Here we've got all our income. It's worth looking at these really carefully. We want to build up some of these income streams. You can see personal tax isn't too bad. Commercial tax is low. The revenue from that. Industrial tax is okay. GST is good. Tourism is very low. No stock sales, no other income. Money from public housing, the residents paying rent, is pretty good. Nothing from public transport. ERP is quite low. I'll explain ERP later. Money from car parks and property sales. This is our total income, profit, and then we've got our expenditure. This is for last month. This is for the current month here. So when you spend money, this will appear here, and then once the month's finished and the accounts are all done, that information will then be reflected up here. Over here we've got the tax rates, 4 different types of tax. I'm going to change these probably at the start of the game. This is worth doing. I'm going to put up the personal tax to 24%, commercial tax 25, industrial tax I'm going to put that up to 28, and GST I'm going to put to 15. Now I'm going to keep an eye on this stock market. As you can see, here is the global economy quarterly forecast. So this is how the economy is expected to perform over the next 3 months. As you can see at the moment, there's a pretty poor performance that's getting better, and then it dips a bit again, and then it looks like it's rising up, but who knows what's going to happen beyond there. But at the moment it's really bad. This means that some of these prices should drop, and that would be a really good time to buy shares. Just a word about buying shares. You can buy shares in increments of 10k or 100k, or if you hold down the shift key and press the 100k icon, you can buy in increments of 1 million. We've got some financial news here. Newspaper phone tapping scandal exposed. Now this news is going to affect share prices, so always have a read of this to see what the latest financial news is. Now this news is probably going to affect MediaCon, because they are a media company with TV outlets and newspapers and magazines. So we can expect MediaCon shares to fall. Also, with the poor economy, MediaCon shares are going to fall. So let's keep an eye out on MediaCon as well as all the others, but particularly in MediaCon, and see how their shares perform over the next couple of weeks. I've got a bit of information here from our advisor. He's telling us that at the moment the global economy is very poor, as we can see here. Experts predict it will pick up during the next quarter. You can see that, yeah, that's probably about right. Now from here we can go to the other departments. We can exit back to the main screen, or we can go to the welfare department. On the welfare department we can purchase housing and also invest in industry. The advantage of buying developing housing and industry here is that these buildings will be built off the map, which means that you can purchase them for a lot cheaper than if you build them on the map. The disadvantage is that you can't sell them again afterwards. So you may want to consider, if you're short of cash and you need to create some jobs, or you need some housing places, this is a really good option. Here we've got all the information, public houses available, private housing places. Now that offer that came up that we just accepted would appear here. No, sorry, it would appear here. We've just accepted an offer for a private company to build a residential area, so that 3,000 places would be appearing here. So total housing places is 50,000, population 36,000, and we've got approximately 14,000 available places. Unemployment is really high at the moment, 15.65%. We've got a workforce. This is the people who are available to work. Now, out of our population of 36,000, we've got 26,000 who are available for work. The rest would be, remember, we've got children, we've got pensioners as well. So this is the number of people who are available for work, and this is the number of jobs available. As you can see, there's approximately a 4,000 shortage of jobs. This is what gives us our unemployment percentage. So here it tells us the breakdown of our population as well as the workforce. We've got pensioners, unemployed, as I said, look, 4,000 there. We've got children, and we've got disabled, and these relate to these benefits here. We've got a pension amount which we can change. We've got the benefit for unemployed people which we can change. This is goes out to all families who have children, and this goes to disabled people. Total monthly welfare costs, really worth keeping an eye on that. Try and keep that down. That can really balloon up if you're not careful, and this is treasury balance at the moment. Here we've got our health professionals and our educational professionals, and one thing to look at is our waiting list for medical treatment. It's normal to have some people on your waiting list. Not all operations and treatment happen immediately, so it's okay to have a waiting list, but if the waiting list goes up too high, then that's an indicator that you're not doing what you should be doing as far as health is concerned. It's the same with education, except for the indicator here is the class size. It's really up to you what you think is an ideal class size. At the moment it's 33. Yeah, that's up to you. Do you think that that's okay? If it goes higher, is that still okay? What do you think the perfect class size is? That's going to be affected by the educational professionals that you employ. And here we've got a bit of information from our advisory saying residential and industrial units bought here are cheaper but can't be sold. That refers to this here. Now, over in the transport department, this is really interesting. We've got the ERP that stands for electronic road pricing. That's like a tax on cars coming into the city. So not only does it reduce the number of cars coming into the city, but also it's a good source of income. So what you set that at is really up to you, but I'm going to change that. I'm going to put that at $19. Now here we've got our different transport areas, and at the moment there are no public transport services at all and no road maintenance. At the beginning of the game, you may want to, one of the first things I would do would be to initiate some sort of public transport. You have to pay an initial cost, and then there's a monthly cost also associated with that. once I've paid that monthly cost, that initial cost, I can then toggle between the services. Remember that whatever you choose here, you have to press the apply button to make that work. Now we'll come back to this screen later, but I'm going to go now to the police department. These are the reported crimes. It's early in the month, so this month we've just had one crime, an assault, and you can see that we've had one crime this month. This is last month's and then the previous month, so you can see they're very, very similar. So keep an eye on that this month and see if you feel as though crime is going up or crime is staying the same or crime is going down. Here we've got the police department expenditure. Here we can recruit more police officers, buy police vehicles, recruit traffic police, and this is a suburb analysis. This tells us the number of crimes that are happening in each suburb. So you can see there's been one crime, which is an assault that happened at Palm Beach. This icon here is CCTV, which is going to help reduce crimes in that particular suburb. Again, once it's paid for, it can be turned on and off. So it's got an initial cost and it's got a monthly cost. And again, with the police helicopter, that's the same. It's got an initial cost and it's got a monthly cost. And our advisor is telling us that traffic police will help to reduce the number of crimes involving vehicles. That will be stolen vehicles, traffic violations, I guess. Okay, from there we can go to the policy department. Now the policy department is made up of 3 pages. You see policy department 1, policy department 2, policy department 3, and this is where we can choose our different policies in different areas relating to city life. So let's just turn those off. So we've got transport, we've got law enforcement, and we've got health and welfare. We've got community, environment, infrastructure. We've got education, tourism, and recreation. Now, just note that let's look at a good example would be health. Some of these figures are set. So to put it on an HGV limit, there's a set price of $76,000 a month. Some of them are variable, so that will change according to the population. At the moment the population is quite low, so that figure is quite reasonable. To give everybody a healthcare card would be really, really cheap. But as the population goes up, that figure and other figures will rise. So just keep an eye out for that, and just remember that some policies are fixed and some policies change. The price of some policies change. Now, at the beginning of the game, I would probably select about 3 or 4 policies. I wouldn't go crazy. I'll explain to you why in a moment. Let's just have a look at the statistics screen, and you can see our city, Florida, is down there at the bottom with 342 points. We've got a city score, which is 342. Don't confuse that with the mayor score, which is 880. They're 2 different things. You've got a mayor score and a city score. Okay, you can see Melbourne there at the top, and our next target, if you like, is to rise up to 19th place. We've got to try and beat Saigon and get into that 19th spot. Here's your mayor popularity. Well, at the moment it's the beginning of the game. We've just won the election, so we're 39%. Keep an eye on your opponent's popularity, because that's really, really important. This is your political leaning. At the moment you're in the centre. You can see Rick Rogers is over towards the right and Joe Walker is over towards the left. We've got our other parties here, and we've got the days until the next election. There's an election every year, so this is the first day of the game. We've got 365 days to go until the next election. Keep an eye on that. Now, here we've got our satisfaction survey. This tells us We can see at a quick glance what our residents are happy or unhappy about, and they're represented by these smiley face icons. So you can see that housing, we know that housing's high, we've got lots of housing places, so residents are happy about that. They're also happy about leisure. They're not so happy about taxes, they're not happy about pollution, and they're not happy about jobs. They're okay with traffic at the moment, they're okay with crime, health, and the environment. So keep an eye on those, that's really, really important. So at the beginning of a game, what I would probably do is have a bit of a look around. I'm not going to buy buildings too early. What you need to do at the beginning of a game is probably do a few following things. Set your tax rates, take a look at the economy and see what that's going to do. Have a look at your income streams, see which ones you think you could build up. For me, it looks like tourism and commerce would be good things to do. Check your unemployment, check your housing places, available housing places. Check your hospital waiting lists and your class size. I would put in a basic, this is what I would do at the start of a game. I'd have these, remember you've got to click apply, and I'd have a basic bus service just to get me going, so I'd do that. I think that's okay for now. Then I'm going to probably choose about 3 or 4 policies to get me going. I'm not going to go crazy and spend all my money, because one of the things in the game is building up your balance. You don't want to spend all your money and then just be sitting around waiting for like dribs and drabs to come in. What you've got to do is to try and get these income streams going, so you've got a nice healthy balance coming in each month. So I'm going to choose about 3 or 4 policies. Let's have a look. Electronic travel card. I want to go for, I'm going to get that because it's cheap at the moment. Crime's okay at the moment, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. Infrastructure, we want to get the commerce going, so this is really expensive to begin with. I think maybe let's go do the small business support, and let's have the transport link. And for tourism, let's try and get tourism going a little bit by having the tourist information centre. Yep, so I've got, I think, 1, 2, 3, about 4 policies there, and you can see my total policy costs at the moment are 307,000. So that's all I'm going to do with the policies at the moment. Now, water and power can be bought and sold, and our economy is really bad. When the global economy is bad, these utility prices will go up, should go up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go down to the docks area, and I'm actually going to build a couple of buildings. I'm going to build a water treatment plant, which is going to increase the amount of water that I'm creating each month. Now you'll see that a cash icon has come up. Now I paid 24.6 million for that, and at the moment it's worth 12.3 million. So I can get that information by right clicking on the icon. So I certainly don't want to sell that at the moment, because I'm going to lose 12 million. As time goes by, as the city grows, that will increase in value, and even more so in certain parts of the city like a city centre around by the station, up by the beach. Certainly these areas here, down by the harbour, maybe around here is a good area where prices are going to go up quite high and land values will increase. Now I'm also, as well as a water plant, we've got a power station up here. Let's have a look. To upgrade that to oil, it's going to be 57 million. I don't want to spend that at the moment, so but I do want to increase the power. Let's have some clean energy. We'll build a solar farm for 17.5 million. And now my water and power production each day is actually going to go up, and I'm going to hopefully build up a bit of a supply of water units and power units. Now here we've got our game speed timer. If you want a relaxing sort of game, then that first speed is really a nice speed just to have a relaxing time and to take a look around. That third speed is also pretty good. It's sort of cycles through things quickly. You'll notice there's an auto slow feature on this, so as that advisor popped up, the game speed automatically goes to a slow speed, so that you've got time to read this and react. And it's just telling us the accounts for last month have been completed, please visit the treasury. And as you see, if I click on this, then the game speed is going to go back to what it was set up previously. Okay, let's just turn that back to slow. So I've set up my game. I've had build a couple of buildings. I'm just going to build one more building. I'm going to build, I think, an office in one of these slots here, and this is a high value area, so I'm going to go for this office number 1. There we go. And hopefully, you know, as the city grows, these values will increase. Now I'm already minus 44 million. I have got a bank overdraft of 60 million. If I go over that amount, then I'm kicked out from the game. So you need to be really careful about that. Don't go crazy at the beginning of the game. And like I say, it's very easy to just sell buildings straight away, but you get a very low price. It's better to hang on to them, let them grow. This is one of the ways in the game of making some good money that you can reinvest, is to leave buildings alone, let them gain in value, come back to them later, consider selling them later. Now we're sort of moving towards the evening time. So what I'm going to do is just take you on a bit of a drone flight of the city, so I can put on the music and off we go. Okay, that's about it for today. Thanks for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed this getting started in Metropolis video. Please visit Steam if you're thinking about buying the game, and yeah, thanks again.